Whenever you're all set, I'm good. Okay. So we will get set here for Game 2 of the MIHL Finals. John Hunter with you alongside the Go Live Sportscast as the players start to work their way out on the ice. I think we've been going through all the commercials, so we're getting set to go as far as the pregame. So let me get you settled as far as what we had yesterday. It was a 4-3 win for the Sharks. How did we get there? The Muskegon Voyagers had a 2-0 lead on the Sharks at the end of the first. Noel LeClaire, Christian Montgomery at 16:15 and 15:38. Second period, that's when things changed. All the shots were away from the outside. Got in the middle of the danger area, scored off the rush, did a lot of good things, did the Sharks. As it was Andrew Polosha and Kieran Carlisle with a couple of goals. Made it 3-2. Riley Picture had the latest in that second. They made it 3-2. And then the Sharks, a beautiful comeback effort. Early third period shorthanded goal by Joe Gibbs, and then Andrew Polosha within 5 minutes later as Matt Berger now walking over across with the scoreboard sheet instructing his players. Polosha, about 5 minutes left, power play goal ended up being the game winner on the very edge of the penalty against Jordan Truxton. So a couple things to tell you about. I know that Jack Hudak, who mentioned that yesterday, got called up from the Dashers. I don't believe he's going to be playing today unless I heard something else otherwise. On the Muskegon Voyagers side, it should still be Devon Lay and Elijah Gibbons in between the Voyagers and Sharks respectively. But there are some changes. Josh Hill made the call up in the sense of being able to drive up there because Redmond wasn't available. So number 15 should be playing in the second game. The Sharks won't be down a forward. But as far as the Voyagers, things a little bit different. Jordan Truxton, after that hit against Tyler Growth in the second period, ended up getting suspended for a game. So he's done for this game. Number 7 will not play, the assistant captain. And I was told by Matt Berger pregame, as we were in the hotel side of it, again, there's certain things I can tell you, certain things I can't. But as far as on the record side, Growth did go over to Riley Picture after that big hit. Riley Picture ended up damaging his knee. He is still going to be playing today, but he's going to be a little bit injured, so we'll see how number 72 moves around. Again, that offensive defenseman is more the power play quarterback for the Voyagers, so that will definitely hurt. I'm not just talking about that because of injury as well, because it's a driver of offense. So no Jordan Truxton, and Riley Picture is going to be playing a little bit beat up. Again, who isn't this time of year? But you don't want to see those types of collisions in the game because people get hurt. It kind of changes some things. So that's where we are right now. As it stands, the Sharks are 3-0 in the postseason. The Muskegon Voyagers are 2-1. This is a best of 5. Again, last season, Waterford Sharks took both games on the road against the Voyagers. If they get a chance to do so again, they will be more than adequate in the driver's seat at Lakeland Ice Arena. So after this game today, our next broadcast, depending on what happens, we have at least one more here for you on Saturday. It'll be 7 p.m. in the Red Rink at Lakeland Ice Arena. If the Voyagers find a way to split, that means we got 2 more for you. So it'll be 7 p.m. and 2:30 on the following Saturday and Sunday. So that is what's at stake. So I was told on the Voyagers PA system, again, I did not see anything from Jack Hudak himself. We do get those camera shots along goal live as far as the netminders. I think Hudak is going to be wearing number 33, not Matt Scheidemann. Is all right, so we're going to get settled here for Game 2, and I just want to make a clarification, at least for my own side of the notes, because we know that Ellen Kalenda was scratched. Alongside for the Muskegon Voyagers, Devon Lay played yesterday, number 32, and unless Jack Hudak got a hair dye, I don't think that's him in the goal crease, so it should be Matt Scheidemann of what I have on my roster sheet and check on the Voyagers side. If not, maybe I can send a relay across to Vic, but I got the clarification. That's what I have. So that's what I'm going to go with here. Still got Elijah Gibbons the other way, and we will see what we get in Game 2. This is coming off of a 4-3 win for the Sharks. That'll come behind action after it was a 2-0 down in the mix of a couple of goals quickly where things could have changed and alongside Christian Montgomery and Nolan LeClaire, and they did. Sharks able to come out in front just like they did in Game 1 last year in that similar style of fashion. So good old-fashioned delay here is what essentially what we've had, because it was supposed to be about a 2:15 puck drop. But this game will still go on as Joe Gibbs going to give the stick taps alongside to Elijah Gibbons. I can tell you this honestly from Matt Berger. He said not a lot of people have a number 25 on the ice. He liked that goal and ended up scoring that shorthanded early in that third. So he's another one to watch for it. And at least I can tell you this as well. For Andrew Polosha, thinks he's going to be able to play even better in this second game when he scored 2 goals and ended up getting the game winner. So that's just some of the sights and sounds. I do have a treat for you as far as when the story goes up. Probably about the Tuesday side, maybe into Wednesday, depending, because it's going to be a day of recovery after this. But I got a couple treats for interviews that get to play a little bit later as we get an immediate stoppage. And the reason we're getting that is because the clock did not move. So good work there between Frank and Kelly. We got all the camera shots for the clock, so I won't have to have as many call-outs. I'll probably do some in the force of habit. It seems like it's got a little Christmas color behind it as well, a little festivity. So Kieran Carlisle, you know what? Tell me how that turns into a D-zone draw, though, as this goes back the other way now for Joe Gibbs. Joe Gibbs now off the spin and turn as this one will get left here for the Sharks right into the neutral zone. Shot will hit the glass, stay in play as there is a melee in the left side corner. Sharks emerge with it. Polosha with a wrister right on, and it's going to be an O-zone draw. So again, for those that are just following in, have to reiterate, Jordan Truxton, again, the scratch. He was suspended for a game of the hit against Tyler Grove in that third period, and that's the way it's going to be. That's a big loss there. And then the Nix of Riley picture, number 72, the captaincy for Muskegon, playing through an injury. So we'll see how that dictates things for the Voyagers offense, because it's 2 players on defense, one the captaincy and one the assistant captain. Alex Gregorich will take this one against Luke McCarthy. He's a good shovel in the corner. Grego now trying to pick this one up off the backside. Cole Hogemo now will send it toward the net. Pass across. Gregorich Hunt off the stick lift. Sharks trying to find it in the offensive end. Good pressure as Hogemo forces a steal. And this shot will go off the backboards as Huffner will try to get to it now. Slap shot in there for Gregorich. And now the Muskegon Voyagers have a chance to go left to right. Again, in the teal and black, is Huffner had a drive right toward the net off the rebound. The deflection goes wide. Isaiah will go back to pick it up. And amongst the goal crease of Elijah Gibbons. Now across center ice, one of the Voyagers falls down. That's going to allow Justin McComas to play a backhand off the outside of the cage. This is a good feed here. Theo Goody, who was pressed up in the offensive end. Now Zach Molkowski will rush to the right side boards, cut it off. Try to get the vulcanized rubber and behind the mesh. This is at the point, kept in by Siegel. He needed a second effort. Molkowski now will force it in deep. Sharks, you got Brian Danielson on the back end. In the mix a few more times as here's a wrister. This will be closed 5-hole. Josh Hill, the new entrant into game 2, as that left corner toward the dot is really getting a lot of action. Within the first couple of minutes, already a couple of double hits. Muskegon try to find the entry now as it's picked up by Joe DeFay. Again, DeFay will be the recipient there for Truxton, who was out. So number 5 will be the ad for Muskegon. About 17:45 left to go on this first. Molkowski gets hit in toward the legs as he got that puck in, and the Sharks in the miss for Berger's squad will go ahead and take a change as Zach Dance's squad is down 1-0 in this series, although we're still scoreless here in game 2 early. Sharks will try to go right to left. They're in their road whites at the Lakeshore Sports Centre. This will be off the stick taps. Josh Hill try to play it out of the air now. Polosha, this one gets turned over. There was a lot of frantic action as Keppel now and off the drive. Had a pretty good effort last time with a couple of points. Right toward the left wing. It's going to force the Voyagers to dump this one in. A lot of pressure at the line. That's what the Sharks have been able to feature in game 1. We'll see if they can do a lot of that same stuff and stop plays before they even start. That's the goal. Entry Kieran Carlisle, I believe, was offsides. We'll get a neutral zone draw upcoming. Probably about 2-0 is all I have right now for the Waterford Sharks as we're really just getting underway. Grego, this one is one way back. And toward the left side red one, it's a heck of a hand turn. And now an opportunity for the Muskegon Voyagers toward the left side wall. Sharks come together, brace for a hit. It's been a physical period so far, and we're just getting going. It'll be sent in from about 50 feet. And off the backboards now, Muskegon Voyagers stuck in their own end as Cole Hogamo was the lone forechecker. Going to force them to start the length of 200 feet, and Hogamo's stick really pressing the breakout for Muskegon now toward the right wing off the spin and turn. Here's Jeremy Joyce. He gets bunched up against the wall by Theo Goody. Sharks already near the change. They'll do so as the vulcanized rubber is right at that point. Go ahead and race for it now is Josh Hill. He tried to get a stick into the corner, but Muskegon eludes the pressure now. This is picked up right at center ice. A couple of Sharks almost collide with each other in the mix of McComas and Hill, but they'll stay on their feet, and this is sent back in behind Muskegon's net again. I mentioned in Game 1 a little bit of those long breakouts, if they can find a way to get that pass going, but it seems that it's been completely cut off here from Game 1 and so far into Game 2. We still got a long way to go there, but just something to read as Andrew Taylor will go right to Gibbons. It's behind him, and they score. He couldn't feel the puck behind the legs, and the Muskegon Voyagers get about as easy a goal you can get. A little happy birthday. 15:33. Are they going to see what they're going to do here? As the referees will converse. 1-0 should be the score. That's what we will get. So Luke McCarthy going to get an unassisted goal at 15:33. And we will get a whistle. So 1-0 is your score at 15:33. I thought I heard an inadvertent one. My apologies. As writing the notes down, Luke McCarthy is going to get an unassisted. He had 3 points in the first game. They were all apples, and now he's got a goal. Muskegon's got the lead again. That's how it was to start Game 1. They had a couple to the good, as this one will be flipped back down the ice. Sharks in toward the right side boards. Joe Gibbs now on the back press. We get a camera shot of him from the angle. We're picking this up. Gibbs now. Huffner try to get away from him, and this will get through the neutral zone at least. Unassisted goal for Luke McCarthy, as the Voyagers have iced it. Humber doesn't like it, but that's the call. Being O-zone draw, Gregorich going to get set to take it. As this one will bounce a couple times and toward the left side of the bench. Now Muskegon trying to make the outlet pass right up the middle. I don't see a hand in the air as players come together. Now an opportunity for Cole Hogamo stuck in his own end as the Sharks will get this against the wall. Opportunity now for Theo Goody. Outlet pass was not a bad one. As will be recollected into the neutral zone. Sharks are going to have to try to find it on the offensive end. Spencer Bowman lost it off the backhand. And this will be sent back down. Opportunity for look for Micah. For Micah's pass. And from about 60. And this is gets sent in across the red again. Rally picture dealing with a little bit of a knee issue, so we'll see how gingerly he can go from left to right. That's going to move that lateral speed and make that difficult. He's sent back down again. Sharks will play this one off the wall. It's Jarrett Siegel. This is a feathering pass trying to beat everybody down the ice. Sharks tried to look for Bowman, but he couldn't do so. Still feel like the chess checkers type matchup is going on right now. What I mean by that is there's not a lot of space on the ice between these two, trying to look for those quick breakouts as the Sharks just did. See if that ends up working out. It hadn't worked out for Muskegon in the first game. Grego now going to get a chance to take this one. Be Zach Grover to be the opposition. Here's the wrister. This one goes off the stick of Elijah Gibbons. That took the goal stick right out of his hand, and the Sharks will send the laundry back across for Theo Goody, able to help out his goaltender as it goes in toward the right side to the neutral zone. Pinball back. It'll be Siegel now. 13:20 thereabouts left to go in the first. John Under with you on the call alongside Kelly and Frank in the Go Live Sportscast. We appreciate you taking this in however you're listening or watching. Flip back down. Here is an opportunity for Jake Prober. Good step up. Prober able to get a piece of it now, trying to get in the offensive end and around Riley Picture. I'll try to hunt his own puck. Rescission. We'll leave this alongside for a picture. And on the forwards, have a chance to do some work in off the long flip. Opportunity is a good one. Nolan LeClaire. And Picture says, hey, you took the stick right out of my hands. No call. He begrudgingly goes into the corner. That's where the Sharks emerge. And Elijah Gibbons alertly falls on the puck. Now, I can tell you this, as far as some of the game one and some of the calls, I think that they're pretty obvious. I'm not trying to say that as a company man, but when you get that really good camera shot that we just did of Riley Picture, who stops toward the right side dot as the stick gets knocked out of his hand and shrugs his shoulders, I think that also says a lot. Here's an opportunity off the draw win. A design tip play, Elijah Gibbons will swim toward the right side of the post, but he does have it. Net partially got knocked off its moorings, so the Zebras will make sure that that's all clear. 12:37 left to go on this first. Again, your only goal, rebound unassisted, Luke McCarthy. It was underneath the legs of Elijah Gibbons, bled through off the rebound. Jeremy Joyce does get a piece of the draw. It goes right to him. Opportunity, easy one. Luke McCarthy, 2 goals. There was no chance he was going to miss either one of those. Jeremy Joyce was able to send the pass across. Well, we are right exactly where we were from game one. And this was a turnover essentially back and behind the net. Sharks off the face-off couldn't find a way to get to it. So Luke McCarthy gets 2 goals. Jeremy Joyce should get a primary. Again, the PA system a little bit on the side for Muskegon. I'll have to look as far as MIHL hockey shift for anything else I do miss, or I can look on the Muskegon site once this period is done. Opportunity now for the Sharks to have to try to get back to the same spot they were. Tyler Grove. Find an entry now for Gregorich. Here's a feed, and oh my goodness, Spencer Bowman got some air. And now we get some big pushing and shoving. The goal creates in a late punch. You know, Spencer Bowman is an ornery man. He's got every right to be. And I think he's going to say he's had enough. And I wouldn't be surprised if there is something to be talked about, you know, after this game is done. Because Bowman's now having some words. And now he's pointing down. The refs already don't like some of the stuff before with Spencer. He's having a serious conversation. And alongside for Joe DeWitt. There was some finger pointing. I don't know if this is the right age group, but do you remember Hacksaw Jim Duggan of the WWE? Because that's what Spencer Bowman's got going on right now with the point there. And that looked like it was serious business because Bowman got some air. It was Shark Week, and that's what it is in the Jersey side. So we'll see what comes of it. I think we're going to talk about it a little bit before we get underneath play. I can tell you, I don't think I've seen a collision like that. I mean, we've seen some hits and some fights and stuff like that, but there are some extracurriculars I think that's already taken place. And that one will certainly be talked about. So I'm going to mark that in my notes. Bowman getting some air at 11:53 against DeWitt. So we're going to go ahead and look at this again as we get a chance. We're probably going to have some housekeeping to do as well, but I mean, Bowman, let's be honest, he was maybe a couple inches away from his head kissing the right post. And then we had that big clobber there. Joe DeWitt wanted to get some punches in. And I'm seeing offsetting minors. I think that could have been a lot worse on both sides as Groth. This one fired at the net now as play is still live. And now a sauce pass will go cross ice, intentionally in off the boards now. Voyagers do look like they have some jump. Again, they did in the game one side when it was 2, but this is another one of those periods where they look like they've taken complete advantage, and the Sharks need to kind of work their way through it. Sometimes they say they have a tendency to have to do so, but I want to see how the energy completely can change as Scheidemann will make the save. So we got about offsetting a little bit more of a minute 21 as DeWitt and Bowman sit in the box. Here is a cross pass here for Goody, glove save, and we'll have to do it again. So a couple face-off wins and some shots. I think the horn also signifies the media timeout, so I think that's going to let me step aside. Those usually last about 90 seconds. So Kieran Carlisle will take this off the top end. A little bit too strong, and Theo Goody will have to stick this one aside here. Look for Micah. Kieran Carlisle now try to find the entry off the race. It'll be a spin now for Joe DeFay as Muskegon will try to look to go left to right here for the rest of this first period. Here's an opportunity off of an odd-man rush. Big save for Elijah Gibbons. I don't know if he would have been able to track the puck. Huffner now trying to locate his Polosha. Flip this back now for Kieran Carlisle. It's Theo Goody trying to find a way out of their own as Kieran Carlisle got through the foot soldiers. This is Theo Goody now in across the blue line side, at least, and through neutral. Get a chance to start again. Stick Chop will take this puck in the bench. Yeah, with the delayed start, we're still only at 10:23 of this first, so feels like we've been here a lot longer and that this period should already be done, but it is still 2-0 for the Muskegon Voyagers. Luke McCarthy has a couple of goals. Grego going to take this one against Andrew Taylor, and off the tie-up now it's Joseph Gibbs. Able to send this pass across. Find the entry now in off the backhand, and Gibbs, thankfully he didn't take a face first into the benches because that one certainly would have hurt. He had to brace for contact, getting the puck into the zone. Grego as this gets sent off the end around, and the Muskegon Voyagers will try to drop this toward the left side wing. Back into the Sharks end though. Here's a long flip taken away. And now put right up the gutter, or at least it should have been. The Sharks will instead look into the corner. We'll have to brace away from some contact. Now toward the right side of the wing. Sharks will go back on their own end here for Joseph Gibbs and send this feed for Siegel. So you got Siegel and Gibbs on the DN right now. Gibbs, long outstretched pass from about 70, and that bounces off a bunch of sticks, so it won't be iced. Still 2-0 to the good for the Muskegon Voyagers. A couple Luke McCarthy goals as one of the Sharks went for a big hit and missed. And offsides. A little bit too much of a step there was Andrew Taylor. Josh Hill going to go ahead and take this. Got Brian Danielson out there to back him up, alongside with Zach Milkowski. This will go right back to the Sharks. So Milkowski had to take a little bit of a half gainer to get to the puck, and he'll do so off the backhand. A little bit past the halfway point of this first, still 2-0 for Muskegon. Again, this looked a lot like the first period we saw last night. Shot from 100 will be held on by Gibbons. So on this camera shot, just point out in particular, I do see some words in alongside for Berger, but that looked like a player's perspective meeting of what they're seeing and what they want to do. Got McComas out there with Brian Danielson and Josh Hill. Zach Grover going to go ahead and take the draw for Muskegon. Top hand will be one straight back now as the Sharks will start with puck possession again, down 2-0. Danielson at the Brayson against the wall. And then off the bumper, this is flipped a little bit high, the glass, but the Sharks do at least get this into the neutral zone. Here's an opportunity on a 2-on-1. Flip to McComas. He just couldn't get everything that he wanted on it. Should have looked behind him, but he made the save nonetheless. Goody. And off the tip, this was blockered out in front before it ever hit the netminder. And now we might have had an opportunity, but it would have been broken up. Kevin Belvich was looking for a jailbreak. Here's a back pass now. Belvich have to start in his own end, just the McComas, making life a problem as the Sharks will pressure. Elijah Gibbons had some trouble with it in behind the goal crease. I didn't even see him with the stick in the hand right now as this is settled back the other way. It's a brace for contact near the right wall. An opportunity here for the Sharks to escape. Theo Goody tried to push this one up the gut. Goody's going to go, try to join in off the rush. He was looking to set a screen, but that shot got deflected. Not too many times you see a defenseman going all the way up trying to set screens, but that also tells you that the Sharks are trying to bust their you-know-what up the ice and try to make life difficult, obstructing the vision of the netminder. Pair of 16s, Kieran Carlisle wins this one clean. The shot for Goody was actually blocked aside off of the Voyagers. Sharks will get this now, a shot from a severe angle near the left side red line when it deflected where Humpner's going to go back and pick it up. And this will go into the Muskegon bench. Kieran, now off the drop, Sharks win it again. The face-off circle has been kind to them right now. The scoreboard doesn't look that kind just yet, but it's still close enough. As the shot from behind the net bounces off the mesh, and now Muskegon looking to break out quickly here. And with speed, Humpner, as the Sharks, Humpner finishes his hit. He was still rolling through the bowling pins just to try to get the puck down the ice. He did a pretty excellent job, all things considered. And this will be settled back down now for Theo Goody. Like to play this one off the wall. He's just trying to stay in front so Elijah Gibbons doesn't have to do that much work. For Micah gets the steal. Now Polosha able to get this one ahead for Micah on the off wing. Polosha lets it go. There was a big rebound right up the gut. And an opportunity now for Muskegon. Going to get the other way for Ryan Gamber. Gamber, by his lonesome, try to cut his way to the middle. Elijah Gibbons will slow it down with the glove hand. Be a right circle D-zone draw. Again, the Sharks have done pretty good, as you mentioned, in the circle, but some of these ones go into the back bumper, and then there's just a massive body contact, so you really got to get the puck out cleanly, do so quickly. You don't want to have anything happen there. Cole Helgamo, he'll try to make a quick shot, will be held by Muskegon. Try to make excellent work there, as he'll get some stick taps in from Joe DeFay. Gregorich try to turn that top hand. This will go back into the corner now. Opportunity for Sam Benner to get the puck out. He doesn't do so. Sharks keep it at the high point. Look for a deflection right in front of the net. Spencer Bowman was providing the screen. This will be recollected here for Jeremy Joyce. Intercepted into the neutral zone again. Sharks try to enter with speed in off the backhand. That was Joseph Gibbs trying to go 1-on-3. He'll find this puck near the right side board. Send it back smartly here. Spencer Bowman. Play this near the right bumper, try to give it right back to Spencer. The sauce pass goes a little bit too far, and now Muskegon on the right wing. And off the drop, we'll leave it right to the Sharks. Joe Gibbs says, look what I found, it's an easy theft. And now toward the left side red line, a big hit. Gregorich gets sandwiched. See if he's okay there. And now upended there intentionally with a skate. That's not going to be a trip. It's Brian Danielson. Try to make this life a little bit easier here for Justin McComas. Burst with speed. Looking for the wrister. Bounced in off the glove and then caught by Scheidemann. 5:25. Josh Hill now gets set to take the draw for the Sharks. Again, one in the high slot. Brian Danielson lets this go through traffic. It bounces off a couple of sticks. Muskegon Voyagers. Again, this is picked right off in the middle of the neutral zone. So Sharks getting a lot of steals here in this back half of this first period. See if they can amount that to turn that into something, or just at least continue it throughout the game and make the fortunes change. Because you keep doing that, you're probably going to have it work out for you. Now in between the players' benches, here emerges with Zach Grover falling down, making a play, and I think we will finally get our first whistle. I know Elijah Gibbons does have it. Are we going to actually get any trips? I don't think so. I was thinking that we probably would before I went into Elijah Gibbons' glove hand. But I think they're just going to make sure that it has to be an absolute penalty before it's called. Just like from what we saw in between DeWitt and Spencer Bowman when they were throwing some punches. For Micah. Now off the leave. Pretty good back check here alongside for Muskegon, making life difficult there for Polosha, but he was strong enough to power off his forehand to get through two players and a wrister. Sharks will have to play this one off the wall. For Micah's just holding that left side point in case the puck comes to him. It does. He'll shoot this one calmly through traffic, but no sight lines being obstructed. Easy save there. Kieran Carlisle will take the left circle draw. Sharks again, a bouncing puck. Trying to hunt for it now is Polosha off the pin. Hunter Keppel was in part of that camera shot. Theo Goody was the last man back, and this one is turned over, but Muskegon's going to elect to clear this one in. Not sure why. Could have just skated that if they took another half a stride. But either way, the Sharks will try to find this toward the left side. Dot Benner will send a back pass with his D-mate and get things off cross ice. About 3:50 left to go. It's a couple of goals for Luke McCarthy. He had 3 assists yesterday, got 5 points so far in the MIHL Finals. This is game 2. The Sharks lead that series in best of 5, 1-0. We'll see what we get in the second game. Still got a lot of it. Hunter Keppel from a severe angle. Didn't catch anything but boards. And this will go all the way back to the Sharks' end. Sent a cross pass here for Siegel and Gibbs. Had a little bit of trouble with it, did Gibbs, but you know what? It ended up working out as you find a way and a cross off the flip in, about 3:15. Kieran Carlisle. Here's a long slap shot. Will be sent in deep of the Voyagers' defensive end. And the Sharks and the Voyagers both in the midst of a change. Here's another long feed. Polosha now trying to circle. He'll try to get inside-out positioning, but Muskegon right there. Here's a beautiful feather touch pass as this goes toward the left side dot. Sharks able to get this one to the neutral zone. Grego trying to cut right up the middle. He gets taken down. I wonder if he got a stick up high. It's not like Gregorich should just fall down. 2:49. I know Mama Shark's going to have to be looking on. I'm going to do so as well if we get any of these other camera shots. And off that cut, looks like Gregorich might have got clipped with a stick. He dropped his gloves and everything. Looks like he got hit in the eye. It'd be the left eye unless I'm reversing my side of the sight lines, but one of those at least for Grego. He looks fine. I don't see any blood or anything else, so that's why it's just a minor. So officially off the offsetting 4-on-4, the Sharks will get the first actual power play. It'll be DeWitt's second time in the box. So a high sticking minor against Joe DeWitt. See what the Sharks can do with the man advantage. Again, they hadn't had a lot of that in game 1. Muskegon Voyagers had several minors in the mix of about 5 against the Sharks, and now traffic out in front, and this one will be solved. So pretty decent work there for the Sharks trying to get traffic out in front of the net of power play. Pretty standard stuff there, but it's all about energy and expenditure. And see if they can continue to do so. Here's a cross-ice pass for Tyler Groth. His power play line numero uno's out there right now. Gibbs let it go through the seam, and again, it's right there for Scheidemann make the save. But it's all about building and process and character and all of that. I think that's what you would kind of bleed into that as the face-off, unfortunately for Waterford, goes out of the zone. And that's going to have to force them to start again. Muskegon's going to be able to burn some precious seconds as power play time. The Sharks are not used to having a power play near the end of a period. When the Voyagers had a couple of those, they had a 6-on-4, able to get some time. Nice little windmill move here. And off the backhand, that was solved by Gibbons, but that was a great move by Humpner off the step through. And now Polosha able to find the entry in. Here are the Sharks with an opportunity toward the right side boards. About 1:45 left to go in this second frame. Elijah will send this one, bounces off a couple of stick blades, and now Theo Goody bounce back to him. Sharks will get some fresh reinforcements. About 45 seconds left to work with on the man advantage as we got 90 seconds left officially in the first frame. Luke McCarthy still with the edge for the Voyagers by himself. He's got 2. Alex Gregorich back out there after getting high sticked. We'll send this one around to the right side dot, move off the backhand. Sharks still with possession. It is Josh Hill at the point in the high slot. Wrister now for Cole Helgamo, and that's an easy save. 1:11 is all that's left. Ones are wild here in the first. 2-0 lead for Muskegon. John Hunter with you as your play-by-play man. Alongside the Go Live Sportscast, thank you for tuning in wherever you are. Flipped in off the long job there from 200 feet. Elijah Gibbons will stop this in amongst the goal crease. We got 60 seconds left. Josh Hill looking for the breakout. Elijah Gibbons letting everybody know that the man advantage is about to expire. It's going to put DeWitt back out on the ice. Cross-ice feed and get picked off. Opportunity toward the right side boards. Good close off there by Cole Helgamo as this will be played in off the backhand. See if the Sharks can do anything in the final 35 seconds or so. In the high slot now, Goody gets the intercept, fake the clapper, and flip across. Sharks now near the right side boards. And a diving play down the ice. And they're not going to signal an icing. That's why the Sharks were kind of taking their time thinking that they were going to get one, but they say press on for about 12 more seconds as we get some contact near the right side board. Spencer Bowman off the hold. This is Theo Goody, but he missed it all. It was a good spot to shoot in the middle of the slot. Looks like that is going to end the first period. After the long shot hits the glass, Luke McCarthy 2 goals to the good, and the Muskegon Voyagers, just like last night, have a 2-0 lead after one. Although this is game 2, Sharks do have a 1-0 lead in the series. But when we come back, we will see if the fortunes remain the same. Can the Sharks turn the tide they did like yesterday? We'll find out in a moment. See you. in the second period of the MIHL Finals. Luke McCarthy has a couple of goals. Again, just as it was in Game 1, it was a 2-0 lead for the Voyagers right out of the gate. It is one that bleeds past Gibbons and is set up near the slot. 15-33, one pounced in off the rebound, and one was just beautiful one-time sit up there alongside the mix of Jeremy Joyce off the 1T to set up there for McCarthy. Of note, I want to throw this out there too. Spencer Bowman got arrows, who's knocked in the crease with Joe DeWitt. That was the big play at 11:53 in the period. DeWitt, as Bowman and him were rolling on the ice, or throwing a few punches in a tussle, was DeWitt. And Bowman had a serious conversation. We had a turn and point as Bowman, now we get the camera shot there, and alongside with the Kitties. As he had a turn and point, a little talk as far as everything else, and we were wondering what was going to get serious here as we get some of these camera shots as well as far as from the banners. I do want to go ahead and issue a error on my end. Again, this was thrown across for Muskegon. I saw it scouring social media as I'm looking back in the goal crease now. That is indeed Jack Hudak. In the call-up, he was with the Dashers yesterday. He's playing today. I know I had Skydeman listed there, number 33. That's Hudak. So, 1,000 pardons, good sir. It's Jack Hudak in for Game 2. If I would have saw anything on the Instagram saying that he was going in and playing, obviously I would have already pinned that across. But there we are. And again, the last few games that we did see with Hudak, Sharks didn't win those games. Again, you can play a heck of a lot differently here from the first period into the second. I think that's what Matt Berger was hoping that his squad will do. And we'll see if they can play with some of that same energy that they did in that second and third period going forward. We also had those good camera shots before it started alongside Justin Avocator, just in case you never saw those banners there. The Red Wings legend. Sent back around of the end boards, and we're underway in this second period. About 19:45 is just getting started here again. Pitcher with the knee issue and all. We're going to inside out move toward the left side of post away from Teller Groth. Sharks will try to take this one left-right in the second period with the road Whites. It is Hunter Keppel. Off the spin and turn, he lost an edge, and the Muskegon Voyagers will be able to send this one in off the glass. Sharks now trying to hunt now. Excellent work for Kieran Carlisle as this one stormed right across the goal mouth, but look, Precision able to get a stick to it. Now flipped in toward the right side. This is Theo Goody. Knocked away for a moment away from Nolan LeClaire. Again, the score bug on the side, that has definitely been changed. We got 19 minutes officially in the second. As this one's flipped now for Spencer Bowman. Now Nolan LeClaire gets a piece of it. Carlisle will send this one cross ice. Sharks look to get acclimated. Hudak now will watch in behind his net as this is a lead for Cole Halgamo. Spencer Bowman off the shovel, and Isaiah Huffner gets a pickpocket. Another one of the Voyagers this time goes down, and we just zambonied everything on the ice surface, so hopefully everything will get okay down there. And not okay for the Sharks, as it's from a severe angle. This gets past Elijah Gibbons. 3-0. Would have been My Chemical Romance. Not okay. As we'll see what happens here behind the net once we get another look at it. But that was from our far side of where we are on the second. And Elijah couldn't find it, and neither could the Sharks at 18:31. That is your latest goal. So it's going to be Jeremy Joyce from Huffner's goal and Andrew Taylor. That at 18:36. 3-0 lead for the Muskegon Voyagers, as this will be sent back down. Hudak now will elect to play it with the glove. You're going to spot him a 3-goal lead. That essentially almost tells me that this game is over, even with that much time left in the second, because that's how good of a netminder he is. We've seen him play in the mix with the Warhawks, Blue Water Stars when they were still on it. He had some 60-save performances. I like to mention that a lot. He's already played several games with Muskegon, but you can't spot him that many goals. And if you're not creating the work, it's going to make things awfully difficult, because you can look at it from one perspective one way or the other. You can be satisfied being up by game, or you can know going home you have a chance to take a 2-0 lead and have an easier time and attempt to finish it off against a team that you already know is hungry to beat you after taking the title last year. So it's just a few ways to look about it, as this is toward the left side dot now. And here is a long outstretched pass. Sharks trying to get things going now, down 3-0 in this game, as this will be a flip toward the left side red line. Sent back down now, where opportunity to be chased forward now for Dick Prober, number 10, and on the prowl. He was pinched in all the way deep, as Muskegon now will try to chuck this one off the glass. There's a look for Zach Grover there for a moment. Flip back down the end boards, about 17:20 officially left to go in this second frame. It's a 3-0 advantage here for the Muskegon Voyagers. They're in good standing right now. The Sharks still looking like they're trying to find their feet underneath them, and that is not where you want to be at this point. A game of turnover near the left side dot. That was saved by Gibbons. And thrown in the corner, Milkowski able to just mercifully shovel this one ahead. And now the Sharks only going to break out a little late whistle with Groff. 16:54 as both Berger's squad and Dance will get some changes. So Zach Milkowski gets busted for an elbow, and off of that latest clear, that's at 16:54. Opportunity now for Zach Grover and off the draw. So it's the second power play opportunity of this game. One for the Voyagers now and one for the Sharks in the first frame toward the end of it. Flip back down. And now this is an opportunity here for the Voyagers to go right to left. Settle this one off the touch pass for Christian Montgomery. Sharks will hold the line, and that will be enough to knock the play out of the zone. So 16:27 left to go in this middle frame. Isaiah Humpner with the latest goal has given the Voyagers a 3-0 lead. That's where you're at if you're just following along. Jack Hudak played for the Dashers just the other day, now comes back in Game 2 to play for the Muskegon Voyagers, and that certainly puts a wrench into things if you're a Sharks fan, but you know that definitely puts a sand in the hourglass back for the Voyagers. Best of 5, a lot longer than the best of 3, obviously, but change plans can happen quickly. Cross-ice pass. Opportunity now for Luke McCarthy. Already got a goal in this game. Elijah Gibbons tried to track it. Again, it was behind him. He thought he was going to be able to hold near the right post. It's been a little bit of an issue in this game. Spun back around the embankment for Micah, and then finally sent back down for Hudak. Calmly play it with the glove. He's just waiting for something to do in this second game so far. Way offside, and he let the slap shot go after, and usually when that happens, you get a talking to by some of these players. Zach Grover let a bomb go against Elijah Gibbons after the whistle, and that is what players generally do not like. I don't care what league you're in. It's just the unwritten rules of the game. So Milkowski has what he hopes is another 50 seconds in the box as we get a neutral zone draw. Need one straight back now for Muskegon. Look to be able to start this again for Ryan Gramber. Gramber now sent a cross-ice pass. He'll be deflected for a moment. Picked up here with Jeremy Joyce. He's taken down. And Elijah Gibbons has the puck underneath his glove hand. So now officially on my camera shot, I can tell you I already had the clarification in the second, but now I can see it clearly. That is Hudak's shining face in behind the goal mask. I imagine he's going to be exhausted from making the trip nonetheless. This will be an opportunity here for Muskegon. And off the bumper, good touch up there with the stick for Zach Grover. Now in toward the right side boards. Off the pin and turn now is Joe Gibbs trying to find it. This will be a cross ice feed toward the right side dot. Muskegon lets this go in through the traffic. We flip back down now calmly. Here for Hudak, he's got to get away from some of the trees. Groth gets the steal and trying to find Pawulsha the other way, who's been really hot in the playoff side of it. Again, he got the game-winning goal, got a couple last night as the Sharks took the lead in the best of 5. But Muskegon can change that just as quickly, about another hour's time. Kieran Carlisle got knocked away from him. Sharks trying to find something to feel good about here. There's a Brace Siegel as the ref signify that everything else is onside. Here's a chance toward the right side, hits the glass just above the glove hand of Hudak. Andrew Pawulsha now can't find it. Circle back the other way, drop from Kevin Belvich toward the right side dot. Players come together and behind the net of Elijah Gibbons, who's swimming in the goal crease. Here's a wrister, catches everything but the glass. Riley Picture gets it back up down to the left side dot. Little shimmy. He'll flip this one to the right, and now a shot just misses the right post. Send back around now for the Sharks, who look to finally break out. Assistant captain sees got it there, Pawulsha. This will get stick lifted away from him. And now Kieran Carlisle. Sweet move. Extra rebound, and what a disgusting goal. Kieran Carlisle, do it yourself, my friend. Number 16 with a magic act, Kieran Carlisle. Again, those guys are used to that. Big-time players make big-time plays, and that is exactly what we got. Man, oh man. That was about as good as it gets. Jack Hudak can't do much more. When you get Kieran Carlisle addressing 3 defenders, that's kind of how it gets the play started. So Kieran gets the Sharks the first of the game at the 13:50 marker. As we get some camera shots of Hudak now behind us, Elijah Gibbons will go ahead and hold. That's an all-important save here right after you score a goal, and it's going to have to continue to be for a little bit more. So Kieran Carlisle, again with the Magic Act, has made it a 3-1 game. Sharks not only behind by 2, but it's an ozone draw. Shot gets pinballed. Opportunity now near the left side blue line. It'll be touched up again. Sharks try to go ahead and find it now as Christian Montgomery was passing it back and forth for a little bit. Now this is in the offensive end. Shot goes just wide of Gibbons as the Sharks will look to clear this out to the right side. So a rolling vulcanized rubber goes back up behind the net. Sharks will send this off the cross ice pass. Good pin against the wall now by Muskegon. It's Luke McCarthy as we get a whistle. Luke's already got a couple points in this game. He's been absolutely dominant throughout the regular season. He had 18 games, 24 goals, 37 assists, 61 points. He's doing all that same damage in the playoffs. He had 3 assists yesterday, got 2 goals today. Jeremy Joyce gets set to take the ozone draw. Here's a shot, be solved by the defense. Bounce back into the neutral zone now where Muskegon looks to try to take possession. Waterford trying to get a couple sticks into the neutral. Send it back now here for Benner. Pin against the board, so he'll get it right back to him. Opportunity now for Joe DeFay. DeFay loses it to Cole Helgamo. They had some traffic in front alongside with Alex Gregorich, but some stick handle knock it away. Benner goes for a safer pass, and there wasn't enough velocity on it, and that forced Muskegon to go off sides. 12:26 left to go in this middle frame. Kieran going to get set to take the draw. This against Andrew Taylor, pair of 16s, or excuse me, Zach Grover there, 18. And that's what I get. We're trying to guess. Riley Pitcher now, off the chop. Pitcher Now on the left side boards, just trying to brace for some contact. Again, I know how much the knees hurt, and you want to stay away from some of that because they need his playmaking. You got to have him on the ice. You're going to get another whole week to heal up here and try to make it a 1-1 series. That's all he's thinking about right now. Here's a great pass ahead off a stick drag. Trying to wait for some space here was Zach Grover. And a shot from the left angle will be solved by Gibbons. Now toward the right side dot. Sharks will try to escape with it in their own end. Here's a pass in the back. Now try to go left to right, racing across the left wing. Here's a seam pass ahead. Sharks don't necessarily have numbers. It was going to be a tough pass alongside for Gibbs as a flutterer there from Polsha will just hit the left side boards. Hunter Keppel now. Got a pretty good teal suit. He had that in the hotel side. This one gets turned over. This will be settled back down for Grover. Grover now for Gibbs as both teams in the middle of some changes. Gibbs' outstretched pass from about 70 will end up being a whistle on a play. 11-12 officially left to go in the second. We're almost halfway through this one. We will take our media timeout. So as we get settled here now, we're getting back in from this media timeout. I was just looking a little bit to see if I could lip read alongside Matt Berger. There's some sort of entry with speed or something that they're looking to cut off and toward the blue line side, have an adamant conversation with his guys. That was my complete guess. I was getting a little enamored into that with 11-12 left to go into the second. But see if we can look for that here for the Sharks, as this will be a neutral zone draw. Josh Hill now try to win this one again. Zach Mulkowski overskate a little bit too much. Try to get it off the back check now. And for Christian Montgomery, sent back in around the horn. The Sharks will get the steal. It'll be off the flip down the ice, and Hudak got his hand in the air to indeed signify icing. .10:53 left to go in this second frame. It's been a goal apiece. Isaiah Humpner for Muskegon and Kieran Carlisle. A little bit of a 3-on-1 dipsy doodle. Gets his own rebound. Puts it past Hudak toward the right side post. And that is where we sit. Again, the Sharks do have a game advantage here in the MIHL Finals Game 2, but Voyagers can split at home. Again, that's the least of what you want to do on the other side as well. And then either way, either team has an opportunity to win it at Lakeland Ice Arena next week, if that is indeed the case. Played it off the back skate now. Sharks will watch this one bounce into the players' bench, looking for Mulkowski on the opposite side of the ice. Opportunity now for Jeremy Joyce and his line to go ahead and win a draw. This one is all tied up in between some skates and blades. And Hudak, it's a one break for the Sharks there. After that tie-up, they're going to get an ozone draw out of this. Is Cole Hulgamo exchanging some words. Keep this one going again with Jeremy Joyce. Alex Gregorich trying to love the forehand now. Sharks have possession. Hudak, this one is just wide of the left side post now. Sharks haven't been down in this end for very long in this second period. There'll be a race for the puck now for Nolan LeClaire. As it goes to the left side board, Sharks with the flip will successfully get this one down the ice. Hybrid icing race. That gets wiped out. One of the Sharks goes down, trying to retrieve the puck, and now we're going to battle in through neutral, flipped in the Sharks end here for Joseph Gibbs. Gibbs now on his backhand. He's got a brace for some contact near the far side wall. 9:40 left to go officially in this second. We're halfway through this contest, and Muskegon's still up by 2 goals. That's where they were from the end of the first. Here's a shot that'll hit the glass and will go out of play. I think the netting as well. We've got the Riley pitcher line on the back end alongside for Kevin Belvich. His face-off one-timer. This one we blocked out in front by the Sharks. It was a heck of a sell job for them in the third when all that traffic was, the extra time. Just trying to go ahead and eat pucks was Matt Berger's squad. That was the verbiage that he used. I thought that was very apropos. And we'll see if they can get to that point where they can throw pucks on it against Jack Hudak and put that in the same situation. Here's an opportunity, scores! Steal in the middle of the slot. It's Carlisle again. You speak it into existence, and sometimes it works out that way. Jack Hudak wasn't going to be able to stop that. There wasn't any other way. Kieran Carlisle with deuces here in this period. Makes it a 1-goal game. So trying to get a retrieval was Rescission and behind his own net, and Luke just threw it right to Kieran Carlisle, a little bullseye. That was a brutal giveaway from Luke Rescission. Again, we're all adults here. Sometimes you make mistakes. It's a hockey game. It's played with speed. But that's going to be Carlisle's unassisted goal, as that was at 9:08. So it's a 1-goal game now for the Sharks. Hunter Keppel of the cross-ice feed. Maybe that is the opportunity to put the door slightly ajar. Here is Keppel as Hudak goes to the left side dot. But again, you just don't want to have those passes and behind your own net get picked off, because you're doing your goalie a disservice. Opportunity for Micah. He gets pinned back. Now he's going to get tied up and near the players' bench. And now a big hit late. Hudak's got his hand out like he wants the Sharks to take a penalty. We're still pressing on, though, as this goes back in behind the inboards. I am surprised the refs didn't call anything there, because they probably could have. I think Hudak had a case. As this is on the right side, this is knocked away from Andrew Taylor. And again, I try to be as neutral as possible when I say that, because we had some Sharks ends, and in the first that probably should have been called as well. Rister will go off of Gibbons. He'll hold the 5. We'll get a stop. 7:59. Look for Micah. Got tied up with one of the Voyagers back in behind the left boards. And I really thought that there was going to be something, but as it stands, just both teams have had one penalty called against them. Muskegon in the first and Waterford in the second. And off the touch pass, Sharks try to find the entry with speed and jailbreak down the middle. Does not find Jake Prober. Again, we've seen the defenseman try to pinch for offense a couple times. Be careful what's going on the other way. Racing across the right wing. Chance from a severe angle must be just looped around the net, because Isaiah Humphrey wouldn't have anything to do with it. He is knocked down and behind as there's a couple of hit battles there for Josh Hill off the net front. Here's a turnaround shot saved by Gibbons. It's bounced up in the air. And now still hunt the puck now is Muskegon from the point. Here's a one-timer. Back in behind the mesh of Office of Gibbons. It's getting pretty busy as the Waterford Sharks finally get this one out off the back skate. It's too far off McComas' left skate. And now Muskegon look to start this one again. A little inside-out position, and Cole Hogman had to avoid a stick near his throat. He did so successfully on the move. And have to spin back around now is the Sharks. 6:50 left to go here in this middle frame. Kieran Carlisle with a couple of goals that answers Isaiah Huffner's. It's 3-2. And dare I say it, this is exactly where we were at this point with the same score line yesterday. Hudak will get some paws on it and get a hold. 6:37 left. Luke Rescission, and behind his own net at 9:08, that's what gave Kieran Carlisle. He didn't roof it, he just shot at 5-hole. Little bottom right post against Hudak. And I just caught him by surprise, and how couldn't it have? Gregorich, now to the right side dot. Sharks will finish their hit against Riley Picture. You don't want to do so too much in the battle of the injury. I think these guys do know that. You are playing for the love of the game. You don't want to be too dirty. Elijah Gibbons will leave just the left side of the post a little bit just to get a hold. It'll be a D-zone draw for the Sharks that they're going to need to win. A lot of loops for Hudak as he taps the glass and then goes back into his crease. You know, goaltenders are creatures of habit, so that is something that we can monitor there. It's a unique sightline for me to be able to get in between the red rink at Lakewood Ice Arena. When you got the left to right view, this is more of a goalie side view where we track, you know, the first and third periods more so for Gibbons, but now in the second period for Hudak. Cole Halgamo off the steal. He tried to send this one out in front, but Hudak saw it the whole way. He was looking for some reinforcements in the tune of Spencer Bowman. So Tyler Groth's line's out there right now. Gregorich trying to get another draw. This one tied up nicely there for Muskegon, and shot will hit some sticks. Will stay right here, maybe near the same dot as well. Right dot seems to be popular. 6:05 left to go in the middle frame. John Hunter with you alongside the Goal Live Sportscast. Frank Kelly, thank you for tuning in wherever you're watching. It's another one of these one-goal games. A lot of intrigue. Chancing through the traffic again will hit the netting. So now we're not just getting whistles to get whistles. We're getting whistles because it's actually going on a play. Joe Gibbs will supply the efforts on the backhand. Still got Cole Halgamo out on this line. Spencer Bowman out there with them. This will be 3 straight draws. This one's actually one right to Hudak. And he'll have to do it again. Gregorich with a little smile on his face here. You know, honestly, that almost works as an extended timeout there for the Sharks and the Voyagers here to get a break. Sharks do get some draw. I mean, they really have fresh troops to cycle this puck or get something quick off the play if they can. Kieran Carlisle already out there. Here's Polosha trying to find this one in between some blades. Here's a lead now for Kieran. Kieran and Polosha are absolutely dangerous. Here's a shot to the traffic. Scores! 2 things I was able to speak in existence of the broadcast. You win those multiple chances off the draw. You get their fresh troops back out there. You do it again. And a mix of Kieran Carlisle and Polosha, they are just doing damage. And now it's a 3-3 game. Again, you're looking at the previous goal score, which is beautiful there for Kieran Carlisle. He's got his own highlight reel. But at 5:44, net front presence. Hudak couldn't track it. So we'll be getting a drop at center ice. We got a brand new ball game, ladies and gentlemen. It's 3-3. We're all square. So Hunter Keppel going to go ahead and get the goal. And it looks like he said 29 twice after that, which isn't going to work out. So I'm just going to credit the primary to Hunter Keppel, and we'll move on, as this will be flipped back down the ice. They've blown dead against the Sharks. So Hunter Keppel, there's a heavy traffic out in front of the net. So 5:27 is where we get our stoppage. And a little deja vu, anyone, from following it from game 1 to game 2. This really feels like the same game. A little falling in reverse. I know it's not a popular band, but that is where we are in this one right now. Sharks have found their legs because they were really working with the maybe C- game. I think that would probably be kind, according to Matt Berger. That's not me being hyperbolic either. As this is picked up toward the left side blue line. Opportunity here to emerge for the Sharks. Take a long shot. Wow, that one beat Gibbons from way downtown. Little NBA Jam. Was that Kevin Belvich? Let that one go? Elijah Gibbons really has got to have that one. He did not. That is crazy to see that one go from the left side blue line. No sort of traffic, no sort of anything else. Just a gigantic goal for Muskegon that probably never should have materialized. This is a shot, a slapper, which is a good one, but it goes right behind Gibbons and goes high. It is Kevin Belvich, so my eyes did not deceive me, but holy cow, that was from super deep. So 5-10. This is Belvich's goal. And Muskegon's back out in front 4-3. Get back into play-by-play in a moment. Just want to make sure I get those timestamps into the notes. Now on the backhand now, picked up here for Probers. This one went at the right side boards. Sharks, no stranger to scoring goals, and here's another opportunity for Siegel. This one held by Hudak. Hudak's got another breath of life. Again, two of those goals not really on him. One of those was traffic, and one of those was just a brutal giveaway. But Elijah Gibbons knows he's got to have that one. No matter how good of a shot that is, from Kevin Belvich, you just have to have it. Now in toward the right side, try to work again, and another face-off here for Hudak and the Voyagers. 4:27 officially left to go here in this second. Andrew Taylor tried to win an all-important D-zone draw. Ref's going to say he dropped it too early. That's too darn bad for Josh Hill, who won that one very clean. So Zach Mulkowski gets at the battle, and they're just going to take two new combatants here. I don't normally see that very often. It was just the timing of the draws in between both players, so they kicked them both out. But here we're underway now, and another whistle. This one I can't tell you what for. 4:19 left to go in the second. So the backline shot for Riley Picture, the Red Goal Live Sportscast. That's the one I always tell you to profile. He's the one that's got the knee issue. As far as that lateral movement, that's what you have to watch. He's definitely battling through something right now, but his team definitely needs him. Again, Jack Hudak got the call up. He did not play game one. He's playing game two. His team needs him as well. Right now, the Voyagers have a 4-3 lead. In behind the net, Spencer Bowman tried to flip that one from behind the mesh out of the air. That would have been some sick hand-eye coordination. Big hit there for Gregorich. He checks in alongside for Pitcher is the one that pops back up, and he's skating very gingerly. They're just trying to win the puck there, but they knew that's something to look at. Not trying to do it intentionally, but you are trying to win some battles. And now Bowman does throw one, and now maybe it is starting to be a little intentional as this goes toward the right side boards. Spun back around now, and the Voyagers return the favor with some contact. Sharks just trying to find it. Here emerges Hill for the moment, as there's all sort of battles there. I see Isaiah Humphrey, this one kept him at the point. Shot will go in off the backboard. Spencer Bowman now tried to step through off a one-handed tuck just to keep possession. And now Grego going to try to help him find it near the right side boards. 3:05 left to go in this second. Gregorich send this cross-ice pass. Here comes the intentionally wide slapper. Bowman trying to tuck it behind him. He just didn't have enough time. That would have been an automatic goal if he could have done so with speed, but how extraordinarily difficult that is to tuck the puck on your stick blade while on the move. Backhanded pass is beautiful. Take a hit to make a play, That brings the Voyagers crowd to their feet, but the job's not done. Sharks, traffic out in front. This one goes off the bodies as Kieran Carlisle now will try to race for it the other way for Luke McCarthy, who opened the scoring in the first with a pair. 2:20 left to go in the middle frame. D-to-D pass. Sharks toward the left side dot off the stick lift. Spin and turn. Polosha trying to keep those strong hands alive in behind the net just to hold on to this puck, but he can't do so. Settle back around now for Nolan LeClaire, helps get it the other way. Kieran Carlisle gets a steal on his own end. Carlisle will step through nicely here off the backhand. Sharks, beautiful move to get in the zone. A couple of backhands. It's Polosha turning on his dancing shoes, leaves for Kieran Carlisle in between the slot. Now they have to try to hunt for it again as Polosha sent back down for Theo Goody. 1:40 officially left to go in the second. It's a one-goal game yet again. In the mix of Kevin Belvich from a clapper from just inside that blue line that beat Gibbons. Just blew past his head above the crossbar. Flipped in toward the left side board. Zach Mokowski, he gets hit. I think a penalty is going to be called against the Muskegon Voyagers. I think he got taken down off the trip, I think, as the signify. I think I saw that one clear as day from where we are. So that should be what the call is. I apologize if I bend a little head, but yeah, that's a tripping signify that we get. You got to be careful near the end boards there because you don't want your head to hit the glass. So Belvich, the man who scored the latest goal, is the man that's going to sit in the box. So it'll allow us some chains for Kevin Belvich. Kieran Carlisle already got a couple in this game. Wouldn't surprise me if he gets his third even right now. I'm not going to say I'm calling here with a minute 20, but certainly feel like the Sharks could get another one quickly. And they're motivated to do so because you got everything on the line to win a home and have two chances. Here's the opportunity for Gibbs, deflected into the netting. But to see what the Sharks are immediately trying to do on their power play. This is no frills. Get to the net, make sure Hudak can't see anything. Kieran will go ahead and take it again against Luke McCarthy. About 69 seconds left to go in the second period. It's a 4-3 lead. Kevin Belvich, who's in the box, has scored the latest. Sharks with possession in the high slot. Here's a feed. Kieran, little inside-out move, trying to keep it alive with the left hand off his backhand. And full sail clear is beautifully done as this one eludes Groth and Elijah Gibbons. We'll start this one. It's turned over, though, for the Sharks, and now Muskegon can flip this one back and clear it down again if they wish to do so. It's into the neutral zone, try to gain the entry with speed. I'm really not sure why he wouldn't just want to send this one back a little more, because it's going to give the Sharks puck possession quicker when probably shouldn't have it. Now in toward the right side dot, Hunter Keppel off the back pass. As the Sharks try to get positioning on front of the net, it's Polosha with a tip attempt. Good save with the left pad by Hudak. Sharks going to keep the same thing there. Polosha providing that screen right in front. Here's the tip. That one goes wide and off the glass. Good keeping near the right side. Dot sauce pass out of the air. Another shot goes high off the back of the mesh. And this is underneath the netting. This is not in. 1.6. I'm essentially thinking that this is just going to be completely blown dead and off the draw. Probably won't get any more chances. Sometimes you have a tendency to speak too soon, but the Sharks will have power play carryover time should nothing happen here in the final, about 1.5. Referees just saying they need that same personnel back out on the ice. So Groth's going to come back out. Spencer Bowman's going to go ahead and take a seat. So we got all the Sharks here at the top of the bench. And an all-important draw. Not really going to be much time to do much of anything. And at the end of two, it's back to a one-goal game. Sharks were down 2-0. Now they're only down 4-3. This is going to be a lot of fun, just as it was last night. We're going to be in for a nail-biting third period. Hope everybody stick around. Encourage you not to go anywhere. We'll see what happens in the finality of Game 2 of the MIHL Finals. Stay tuned. We'll talk in a bit. All right, we're going to get settled here for the start of the third period. There was a lot to talk about in that second, so I'm going to brief you here. In the latest, it's a 4-3 lead for the Muskegon Voyagers. Goals for the Voyagers in that period from Isaiah Huffner and Kevin Belvich. Belvich with a slapper just inside the blue line. Kieran Carlisle did score twice for the Sharks. 3-on-1, skated through the defense and a nasty finish, and a forehand celly off a Luke Precision turnover. He turned it over right near the left side red line. They ended up with a 5-hole wrister that went past to Jack Hudak. Hunter Keppel scored off a seeing eye wrister to still make it 4-3, so Muskegon's still in the lead, but that was a much better effort from Waterford in the latest set of 20 minutes. And I put this in my notes as far as the Facebook post. Again, the story and everything else is going to go out usually between Tuesday and Wednesday because I'm going to take some time to get some rest after long travel. But can repeat fireworks be in the works? And maybe that is what we'll see because it was a much better second period, just like it was last night. Again, the first period it was 2-0, just like it was in this one. So Sharks come a little bit closer. Again, shots on goal can tell you much of the same, although not in the second frame, as Muskegon had a 13-7 lead. That's when the Sharks did most of their damage. It was 18-11 shots on goal in the first for Waterford, so totality, Sharks have that edge ever slightly, 25-24. And again, with the one-shot difference, that's also a one-goal difference. The Voyagers still have one of the good, as it's 4-3. And we get settled for a third period as the Sharks come out on the ice. That's not to say we couldn't have extra time here, all things considered. Kind of had that feeling last night as well. A lot of parallels in between, like what I mentioned last year, making the trip over here to Muskegon for the first time. Now this time alongside the Go Live Sportscast between Kelly and Frank. My name's John Ott, your play-by-play man. I'm humbly appreciative of everyone joining in and listening in throughout this broadcast because we have another good one on our hands. And at some point you say it's a shame that it's only a best of 5, but as it was a 4-team league, these two teams in the regular season meet 8 times. Muskegon had a 5-3 advantage on that, so as far as the regular season series, but playoffs and regular season is a completely different animal. So the Sharks make their way now to the benches, get their stretchers in, same thing, get the nets all squared away. Matt Berger just walked across from us from the camera side. He's always got that clipboard and everything else in hand of the things that you want to diagram coming out of the intermission as we get set to change ends, and Elijah Gibbons doing his sprints as well. So 39 seconds of power play time. That's carryover from Kevin Belvich, the one that scored the latest. And we'll see what the Sharks can do if they get the puck quickly on a fresh sheet of ice. So if you're a betting man, if anything else, you can throw anything early on Facebook, Twitter, anything else across from me at John Reinott per usual. You can tell me who's going to get the next goal of the game here, whether or not it's going to be a go-ahead by 2 or a tie, because it's anybody's guess. We're underway as this one flipped in off the end boards now. And the Sharks try to go ahead and get some puck possession again. We got the score clock here for the rest of this third period as it stands, so that'll be pushed across. Here's a shot in front of the point. And the Sharks not trying to do anything crazy but get traffic in front of the net, and they score right off of it. It's a 4-4 game. 19:41 left to go in the third. That is exactly what they want, right in off of a fresh sheet of ice. And Muskegon does not get the puck out. This is the second time that that's happened through the game. It was a lazy attempt at a clear. Sharks pass this back and forth at the point. They get a deflection and a forehand, looks like toward the left side of the red line, just goes in and beats Hudak. But it's the second time the puck does not get out, and Muskegon's got to pay for it. So 1941, that's the latest goal. We didn't even get a goal announcement as far as the numbers, but it is tied. Cole Hogemo now with the wrister will go up in the glove hand save for Hudak. So my apologies, couldn't get the numbers on there. We didn't even get numbers. So 1941, that is the latest goal. This one is a power play, so at least mark that to be able to look forward to. It'll be easy to track the number of points. Unless it is Polosha and Carlisle, then you're going to need an abacus. Now to the backhand. Sharks say they score again. This one bounces in off the backboard. Spencer Bowman is the first one to it. I think this bounced over the net and then back into play. From what I was looking at on the TV side, again, I don't blame anybody here because it happened so quickly. Here is a face-off win for the Sharks. Seagull, and off the deflection, that might have hit number 71, Spencer Bowman. Bowman picks it up. He just tucks it in. Bowman tucked it in. Good camera work on that side. It is 19-13. And the Sharks have a couple of goals. Again, they say no goal. Oh, no goal. They're going to wave that one off. Appreciate that. Throw that across. Thank you for helping me out. So Gregorich, I'm not sure why they were going to wave that one off nonetheless, as this is still a 4-4 game, so tied. You got that in front of you. Flipped in now toward the left side red line. Thought Bowman might have had the latest. Sharks will go ahead and get this one on their own end. 18:50 left to go in the third. We flipped in across the left side blue line. Cole Hogema brace for a hit now. Spencer Bowman trying to join. Probably this puck up loose and safely gain the red. Another one of these that's going to go down in the wire. Sharks get the early one on the power play, and that's what's left for right now. It's 4-4. And off the lift, here is the Voyagers. Now try to find an entry with speed. And alongside for Jeremy Joyce. Now in toward the right side dot. Players will come together. Flip across now and down the ice. Sharks will go ahead and take some changes. They might as well. They're near the players' benches anyway, as this will start again. And alongside for Sam Benner. D side for Muskegon. Muskegon needs this one to go 1-1 in this series to go back to Lakeland. Mokowski off the steal. He tried to shoot it off the opposite angle to the right post, but that was pretty far away. And now Waterford go ahead and find the possession here with Theo Goody. Flip this one down the ice. Now onto the right side boards. Muskegon bracing for the left side. Flipping around now for Kevin Belvich. And the Sharks more running to themselves more so than the player. Just loud contact nonetheless. Theo Goody off a back pass. This is picked off right at the red line. Mokowski now trying to hunt for the puck. Again, there's not been a lot of penalties called in this game, so I'd have to think the one that's going to happen next has to be egregious, otherwise there's going to be some conspiracy theories. As it's now toward the right side, Dot and Hudak will find it near the right post. It's interesting how that works from game to game, isn't it? Because you can go one side where you think about 4 or 5 penalties could have been called. You'd be absolutely right yesterday. Today is just clean to the vest, and not everything we've seen has been clean to the vest. Kieran Carlisle. Go ahead and take this one off the top hand. It's Joe Gibbs into the traffic. It was saved by Hudak. With the stick shaft as this goes in now near the right side boards. Sharks take a clapper from deep. Be another stop for Jack. So Kieran Carlisle, take one more of these as it goes off the right bumper. Carlisle now try to get this toward the right side. Good stick intercept there for the Sharks. A step-up play by the backline defense. And as Siegel gets possession and throws this one across. This traffic at front of the net's going to have to force a hold. So Sharks get a lot of ozone draws here. You got about 3 in the last span of about 35 seconds. Bowman line with Grego is going to come back out. .1647 officially. I'm trying not to think about potential frostbite. I know we're not out there, but I am pretty cold. But it's a 4-4 game. It's heating up on the ice. Alex Gregorich can't win this one. Is Muskegon now trying to get possession off the long flip. Elijah Gibbons is just going to like to hold. His teammates want him to do the same. And Groth now signaling the rest of his teammates that he wants. The referees want everybody else to get the new personnel on the ice. So we see Brian Danielson. Alex Gregorich going to give him positioning exactly where he wants to be, just in case that's where the puck goes. They can quickly win it and try to get out of the zone. That's the all more important part of this whole thing. Jeremy Joyson off the tie-up. This will go to the players' bench. So number 13 and 63, Joyce and Gregorich set to do battle yet again. This time off the tie-up. Muskegon finds possession with it. Fortunately, to shoot it wide near the right side post. That was open to be able to snipe all day, but missed it short side. Now Grego, and off the wall. Going to reach off of one hand. He'll finish this hit. Gregorich throwing the body a lot in this postseason. Again, he mentioned to me between everything else in M1, he's not missing any more games because that season's done. Stick gets taken out of the hands of Spencer Bowman. Elijah Gibbons makes the save, and the net behind him might have got a little bit dislodged. He was doing a leapfrog to stop that puck. Again, that was not intentional nonetheless. There was a lot going on in behind the mesh. .16:04 in this tie game. Late power play goal into it early in the period, but a late power play goal for the Sharks. Have notched this one up. Here's a chance. Gibbons gives up a big rebound. He couldn't hold it. And now for Micah. Try to get this one out of the zone. The Sharks will do so successfully. Bounce off Jake Prober. Justin McComas almost made an unbelievable play as this one will be deflected. Long shot, another big rebound. It's given up. Gibbons has to make a gorgeous save. That's his best of the game. That was in the high danger area right in the slot. See, that one he made look easy. And toward the right side inboards there for Ryan Gamber and off the leave. That's a good combination play there. Christian Montgomery was the one that let it fly. So Kieran Carlisle now for Groth. He's going to flip back into the corner. Joe Gibbs tried to take a look in behind the net. Muskegon keeps this one up to the right side. Dot and gets some traffic in behind the net. A lot of net front battles going on right now. Kieran Carlisle on his backhand nicely out of his own end. Sharks try to get some possession. He got Polosha with him on the rush. Good step through here. And alongside, I believe that is Hunter Keppel, number 23. He was getting knocked down. He's still with it now. Try to flip this one to the left side boards. That is where Muskegon is, but Polosha not giving up on the play. Neither is Keppel. Got to be careful when you got that many pinch, though, just in case there's any turnovers or leak-outs. Haven't seen that a lot from Muskegon, though. Maybe that's more so to Berger and them picking up on it. Polosha. As this will get circled back now for Muskegon, just trying to flip it out of their own end. They turn it over again. Spencer Bowman had a piece of it. Kieran Carlisle trying to get a stick, and now finally get it the other way for Sam Benner. As there was some contact made, Elijah Gibbons will stop this one up for Groth. Tyler will slow up. A little snow job now near the right side red line. This one gets flipped back in. Muskegon's going to be able to get to it first. Little negate of the contact there for Andrew Taylor, trying to keep it alive and off the end boards. Sharks will brace it out. Cole Helgamo now onto the right side boards. He gets all tangled up on the other side. And now some pushing and shoving against Cole Helgamo. They're not letting him take a stick. And now more Sharks will go flying in the mix of Zach Grover. There's going to be some laundry here. Again, you'd throw flags in football. And there's going to be some penalties. We'll see if the Sharks get more of it, if they give it on Cole Helgamo. I think he was just trying to get a stick. But on the other side through center ice could be a Sharks penalty. We could get some offsetting. We could at least get a Sharks penalty, but Cole Helgamo was definitely getting a stick held in near the right side. That cannot be argued. He just would not let it go. So 14-13 officially in a 4-4 game. Will the Sharks go up 2-0 in this best of 5, or will Muskegon tie it? That's what's on the line. It's kind of the same things we were looking at last year as far as what could be. And both of these games have been tight, just like they were. So Groth now having some words with the ref. You got Polosha out there with Kieran Carlisle, the dynamic duo. You can inverse 61 and 16, doesn't matter. They get the same amount of points. They do all that same damage. Maybe one sets up and one scores, but that's really the only difference. Cole Halgamo is going to get the penalty. And I also see Luke Rescission. So I can take that for an even swap, but I also think there's going to be another penalty they have listed on the Muskegon side. But maybe there's just too many put on there. Maybe just offsetting nonetheless. So Cole Halgamo and Rescission. Means more space on the ice for both of these offenses, which is a goaltender's nightmare nonetheless. Now, we'll be flipped back down here. Kieran Carlisle, nice move, couple times off the backhand. We'll see if he can get it going now. On the right wing side and working against the wall, get through some contact. He's still not giving up on the play here as the Sharks will brace in toward the right side boards. A step up here, which is easy for the Sharks to get possession. We'll see what they'll do with it. This pass gets picked off. Look on the back skate here. Sharks in off the sauce. That was a dangerous looking feed. It was honestly kind of dangerous for Muskegon to even attempt that. And the Sharks, fortunate, go off sides. And for Muskegon, I think they're taking a breath. They really tried to force a pass in the middle that wasn't there. And the Sharks could have had a counterattack. So we're going to do this again in the neutral. Grego now gets set to take it. He wins that one very clean back at center ice. Opportunity here for Spencer Bowman, the captaincy, from the assistant captaincy. Bowman now in toward the right side wall. Sharks, high slot on the backhand. Gregorich, one more touch. Keep the spacing here for the Sharks. I don't know if that was intentionally left behind the net, but a little bit of an overskate. Bowman now off the pin, trying to win a puck battle. That's what you got to do at this point if you want to get some damage done. Danielson's pass goes all the way back down. There's got to be a hustle for it. Sharks will get there first. 35 seconds left to go in the offsetting. Siegel now toward the left side red line. He's still with it here. Jared Siegel almost did it himself from 150 feet. Here's a good steal now. Gregorich now. To the right side bumper. Takes a hit. And he's been throwing the body a lot. He's been taking some damage. As players come together, swan dive, no call. Spencer Bowman trying to make something happen. This will give the Sharks possession. Chance in the left side post. It was saved by Hudak. And now Bowman, he throws his stick out there when he got knocked down. He wasn't happy about it. Elijah Gibbons will take the outstretched pass. Sharks will press on. You got to be careful here because that back pass was not a good one, and this will give Muskegon some possession. Opportunity for Formica. He's going to win a puck battle against Isaiah Humpner. Against the wall on his back skate. Formica goes down. This is going to be wide open here. Muskegon just trying to get at the point. They need to get a shot on net. They can't do so. This is wide of Elijah Gibbons. This is still with the Voyagers, though. This will be sauced. Bounce off of some bodies. Gibbons says no with the right pad, but the job's not done. Melkowski with an inside-out move. He knocked the puck away. This goes to Formica now, who desperately tries to get it out of his zone. He'll finally do so with a third lift. So some tired Sharks. Number 77, big look for Micah, will go ahead and take his change. Good crunch in near the left side boards. Sharks now have this one braced at the point. It's Theo Goody. Now to the left side dot. 11-10 left to go in this third. It's a 4-4 game. Big hit, my goodness. One of the Voyagers was absolutely leveled. Dropped the stick, the play still alive. Now we'll finally blow it dead. Was that a good old-fashioned hip check is my question, because that was an absolute smoke job in the middle of the right side dot. A little spinning whirling dervish as well. I think that was Kevin Belvich, number 12, spinning like a top. So Belvich has been all over the score sheet, and hopefully he's not on the injury sheet there, but you don't often see hits like that. A good step up in there toward the right side skate, maybe a little more of a half trip. And if that's a kneeing, that would be an automatic major. Didn't see a knee on the replay, but it certainly didn't look right. I'm still waiting, honestly, for anything to be put on the scoreboard as far as penalties, because I imagine that's going to be an easy one. You see, we don't even have any correct numbers, but we do got a Sharks penalty, so that was easy enough to call there. So Zach Milkowski will be the guilty party. So Kieran Carlisle is going to have to win an all-important draw. Justin McComas on the top step and near those benches. It's a 4-4 game. This is a grand old opportunity right now for the Muskegon Voyagers. Here's Polosha. He's got a ton of speed. And that's a good save. Hudak now near the left post. You did not give him anything to look at. He was able to slide all the way over from right to left as soon as Polosha entered the zone. He already knew what he was going to do. So it's Milkowski with his second penalty of the game. That one against Belvich. I'll be remembering that hit for a while. Carlisle will try to do it again. He's already got a couple. He's on hat-trick watch. And how big would that be to get one of those and your team wins the game? There's nothing more than you want. Scoring goals is always fun, but it's always better to do it than win. I don't think you're going to have anything empty otherwise. Now on toward the right side boards, Joe Gibbs against Riley Pitcher. Pitcher now tries to get a reverse hit even with the injury, which tells you about the kind of guts and skill he has. Now to the right side dot. See if the Voyagers can get any sort of clean entry. We're almost halfway through this third, and this game is still yet to be decided. It's 4-4. Everybody in the middle of some changes. Sharks don't want to get caught here. Siegel fakes the slap shot. Now we're going to have to take the pin. In the mix of Andrew Taylor as well, and Zach Grover trying to find this now near the right side boards. It's still Taylor and Grover. Absolutely, Siegel gets worked over. That puck does get out, so he had to sell his body to get that done. He absolutely got it done out of the defensive zone. Hudak will slow it down. And now 9:40 left to go in this third. 40 seconds left to go, and Milkowski's minor. This one will be intercepted. Now Siegel again. That is a yeoman shift on the penalty kill, and he's going to get some stick taps from his teammates, as he should. Muskegon try to start this one from 200 feet. Again, they are in the road black jerseys with the teal top, and the Sharks are in their road whites. This will be flipped back down. Now here for Spencer Bowman. Use this one off the glass. Sharks, beautiful job there on this kill. They'll get the job done. And we'll see what happens through the rest of regulation. The most important thing now for me is keep things clean on both sides. Because if you take a penalty at this point, you're probably getting scored on in the next one. That's my call. I've been 2 for 2 on calls today. We'll see if that continues. Now on the left side, find the entry. Elijah Gibbons will go ahead and stop this one out. A little bit cleaner behind for Bryant Danielson off the leave. And Sharks now try to break out of their own end from right to left. Kieran Carlisle on a 1-on-3. Carlisle will take the wrister. This one will get solved in the corner by Hudak. It's loose! Wrister, oh my goodness. That one was Polosha. I thought he could have scored there for sure. Anytime he's open in the middle of the slot. And now Muskegon, it's a 2-on-1. And what's the whistle for? Muskegon's going to be absolutely furious. That was called very, very late on that rush. 8:28 left to go in the third. Not often you call something like that when you're, 5 feet from the slot with a chance for a cross-ice pass. So take a breath there, Sharks fans. Kieran Carlisle. Flip this one across. I don't care if it's the Sharks, the Voyagers, or anything else. We're just happy to have you on the broadcast, whether you're following in, listening to me, or just listening to the feed and listening to Terry. We want to be able to bring you in on this because it's a fun game. And it's been fun throughout this series. Another close one. It's 4-4 in game 2. Picked up off the back skate. This is Joseph Gibbs. Gibbs now will try to use the glass intentionally. Flip this one down the ice. They're going to say gains the red, so there's no ice here. It could have been last touched by somebody else. And now Muskegon try to break out toward the right wing side. Gibbs will try to pin against the wall, deny that space, and force the Muskegon Voyagers to pinch it in. Gibbs now try to get a retrieval. Good left pad save for Gibbons. And now Muskegon right into the neutral zone. 7:35 left to go in this third as Sharks will commandeer some of their troops. Gibbs, pass from 100. As the Sharks down to the left side red line. I don't think they have enough space to flip the ice because it's contested in the corner. Milkowski was there. They'll ring around the embankment off the full-scale slapper as Luke McCarthy, who's got the first couple of goals in this game, and the last touch for Muskegon. Picked up now for the Sharks. A little bump there off the reverse. Siegel can't hold it on the blue line. It did get out. He's got possession. We'll just flip the red. Send back down now for Josh Hill. Try to find this in near the right side bumper. One of the Sharks goes down. Don't see any hands in the air as we press on. Still waiting to see who's going to get up there on the other side for the Sharks. I didn't think it looked as serious as it might be. We're going to get an immediate timeout nonetheless. We'll check on the Shark that is down. So they're going to take the immediate timeout while the Sharks need some attendee. Justin McComas, he got stuck in no man's land. Number 91 and the helmet and everything else dislodged. You got all turned around. Justin looks okay down there. So thank goodness you don't want to lose anybody there, but Justin McComas, a Central Michigan native, has already done a ton of damage. Again, he's been very forthright alongside with me trying to make sure to get this one done here for the Sharks. All the boys are very appreciative of everything else that's been done, and we humbly appreciate that as well. It's a lot of fun to bring these broadcasts to you. So the latest Sharks goal, 1941 on the power play. That is still where we are. That was in the dying breath, again in the opening of the period, but dying breath of the backhand power play that carry overtime off the fresh sheet of ice. That is what's tied this game. We're waiting for a GWG, and when is it going to come? If it was game one, it'd be the next minute 40 seconds, and that was Andrew Pawolshin, number 61. This is Brian Danielson, number 96, with the puck now. As the Sharks try to get this one out of their own end off the sauce. Now out of the right wing side. Spencer Bowman trying to provide a screen. Back on behind the net of Jack Hudak. Again, he had the call from the Dashers in game one. He's playing in game two, came all the way back to play for his team. Cross-ice pass gets settled up now for Gregorich, having to play some defensive responsibilities. He's used to doing that anyway. Brian Danielson, and off a long feed. This was going from blue line to blue line. It bounced off of Gregorich, and it's going to give the Muskegon Voyagers some puck possession. 6 minutes officially, and we could need extra time depending on what happens here. Spencer Bowman off the lurk. He was the 1-4 checker, as it's Theo Goody now with the puck. He'll lap it around here for Micah, able to escape just for a moment, getting away from Nolan LeClaire. A little bit of a neutral zone battle right now between these two. Opportunity here for Jeremy Joyce off a 1-on-4. He's actually going to get to this puck first. Good work there. Jeremy Joyce braces away from the hit, and they score! That was a nothing burger of a play, but it worked out there, and you got to give full marks in the mix of Jeremy Joyce to be able to set that one all up. And almost to that same point, but now it's the reverse of the team. The Voyagers get the go-ahead goal with 5:32 left. So it is going to be definitely an assist alongside for Jeremy Joyce, and Luke Rescission is going to get the back end piece at 5:32, and that the Voyagers now have a 1-goal lead in the mix of Joe Gibbs. Now try to pick this one up. We'll see what the Sharks can do, because they're at the same opposite point that the Muskegon was last night. Gibbs, and off the flip, be sent back down the ice. Be an opportunity here for Benner to go ahead and get a puck pickup. 4:50 left to go in this third. Here's a turnaround chance. This is in contest near the right side. Dot now behind the mesh. Sharks trying to hunt for a goal. They need one here with 4:40 left to go. This will be sent back down Growth. Get the pass ahead, and off the spin and turn, it's Kieran Carlisle. Again, your top units are going to have to play a ton of minutes here at this point. Might not be too many line changes unless you absolutely have it. You also got a timeout in your back pocket for your best troops because you're going to need to find something. You need to push. Now in toward the right side dot. It's Growth. Finishes his hit. Back down here for Joseph Gibbs, number 25. He got through two defenders right there, and there was no space. That created an opportunity now off the cross pass. Sharks do have numbers. There was a long shot that Hudak was able to save. Bryant Danielson off the pinch. He couldn't hold, and this will go back and across the blue line. Now toward the right side wall. As we get a little neutral zone possession, Danielson with a little bit of a touch pass. Sharks still got time, but they're going to have to execute when they get in the offensive zone. Zach Molkowski try to do it all himself as this one will be flipped back here from Muskegon. There'll be a race for it near the right side boards. Siegel, a couple of stick chops. He can't get to it. Now behind the net and a wraparound goal. A beautiful finish for the Voyagers. They're up by 2. It's Nolan LeClaire. That's a gorgeous effort. Absolutely perfect goal. And off the long flip, that's Muskegon Voyagers at their best. When they can get a play in from distance, we just have not seen that throughout a lot of these games lately, especially all in game 1. An all-important second goal makes it a 6-4 game. So this is going to be a TO here from Ed Berger's squad and the Waterford Sharks. Nolan LeClaire off the wraparound at 3:26. Makes it a 6-4 game. So Zach Grover going to get the primary, and that's all that there is in the mix of Nolan LeClaire. That one I could probably hear a little bit more just because of the timeout silence. My apologies there. I'm going to have to get some of the numbers to be able to pick up here, but that's why we got the other broadcasts on the side for the replays. We're going to get the story out. So it's looking ever more so like it's going to be a 1-1 split. I don't want to speak too soon with 3:26 because if the Sharks can find a way to blitz within the next 90 seconds, then all of a sudden we ignite the dynamite again. But to see the Sharks concede 6 in a playoff game is not something that I'm used to. And I know it's only 5 in a row in the mix of what it was last year. You make it 6 off the one game here, but it's the same two teams against each other for the last 5 years, the same two teams the last 3 years, essentially for the players on the roster. And it really is about who wants it more, who can make some dynamic plays. Elijah Gibbons, he's going to vacate the goal crease. So Berger's squad going to go for it all here as they're down by 2. I'm not going to say it's the wrong decision. You got to try to make something happen quickly. If you really believe in your guys, you get your top line out there. Here's an opportunity now as Gibbs takes a hit. This will be a rolling puck. That should be your ball game. That one just missed the net, though. It safely gained the red line. Gibbs will go ahead and get this again. So still a hair's breadth away there for the Sharks. 2:45 with the net pull. 6-on-5. So it'll be Joseph Gibbs. He can start this again. Outstretched pass is not a good one. This will be picked off near the right side, but a good back check for Andrew Polsha to make sure that nothing happened there on the empty net. Here's a fight for the puck. Joe Gibbs now going to have to try to dig this one out. Here is Riley Picture. Again, he really doesn't want to get too activated when he doesn't need to, already battling with the injury and his team up by 2. Just shovel in the corner and make the smart play. Don't have to do anything physical after that. Theo Goody. Now in for Kieran Carlisle. Here's a touch pass for Polsha. Trying to find an entry with 2 minutes left, and the Sharks down by a couple goals with the net empty. Now in toward the left side for Micah Brace, trying to pick up the puck, and now this will go back again. Muskegon not hunting for that extra goal, and I think that's a smart thing here. You got to be good with that lead You know you're up by 2. The Sharks are the ones that have to press. Cole Halgeman off the backhand. This goes off the outside of the mesh, and Hudak going to take no chances anyway. He'll just glove it. So Nolan LeClaire with the latest insurance. That happened at the 3:26 marker. The Sharks then elected for the net pool in that Burgess squad, which I think it was the right call. Again, I mentioned this a bunch of times in the MIHL. We just don't see coaches elect to do that, and I often wonder why. And I'm glad that the Sharks are actually trying to go for something here, because what's the point of conceding? If you lose anyway, it's still a game. You want to try to get a goal to the good, and you had plenty of time to do so. You do it at 3.5. I think it's smart. As this goes in toward the left side inboards, Josh Hill now in the mix. There was a big rebound there from a Joe Gibbs shot. And he flipped back down the ice. This will go wide of the empty net, so it'll be iced against the Voyagers. They're not going to care at this point. So Sharks have already used their timeout, so whatever troops they got is what they have. The Voyagers can't change. Sharks can do whatever they want. No surprise with the Kieran Carlisle line in the mix of Polsha. Kieran going to get set to take this one. Got to have this draw. Has not been a game that's had a lot of penalties in it. That's the one thing that's been completely different from game 1. Josh Hill now. And alongside for Polsha, as there was contact against Benner. This bounces off the skate. Picked up now off the slap shot. Scores! And we're not done yet. Sharks into the traffic, making a 1-goal game against Hudak. You win it off the face-off, and that's simply how it starts. You got to get traffic on front of the net with the extra attacker, and the Sharks able to do so. That's right at 101. So this will be bounced in off of a skate blade, send the feet across, and here comes the bomb in the mix, and that's right at the net. There's nothing Hudak can do. He can't even see it. So 6-5 game. Elijah Gibbons is back in his goal crease. Sharks have 50 seconds in which to do some damage. Gibbons, this one wide. He lost his stick. Back in behind. He's rolling around. The puck is underneath him, and we get a whistle. Holy cow. This game has gotten crazy. I know that's what Mark Champion likes to use for the Detroit Pistons, but it is what it is right there. Looking underneath just to make sure everything is stabilized. Joe Gibbs will get back to his feet. Massive humanity in front of the traffic off the slap shot. I think that might have been Jared Siegel. 26, not 29 for the latest. As Luke McCarthy. This will go chip wide. Again, Muskegon has to keep this in the Sharks' end as much as they can. Here is a long outstretched pass. If you're the Sharks here, you really got to cheat, but it'll be blown dead. That's not what they want there, because Elijah Gibbons got to stay in the goal crease. .65. It's a crazy, crazy game here with a ton of offense, and that's these two teams at their best. Again, the Sharks malaise in the first period with the 2-0. This time is the one that bit them. But again, there's still time if they can execute off this long flip. Here's an opportunity here off the rebound. And is there going to be a penalty call? You think there probably should have been off a trip. That took a little too long for that whistle to get blown. I think that was probably 4 or 5 seconds too late. As there was traffic in front of the net, you had Kieran Carlisle and Andrew Polsha. So just a whistle. That's all we're going to get here. Kieran Carlisle. Got to win this draw here if you're the Sharks. Now this goes to the left side bumper. Muskegon does well with it in behind the net. They just need to kill time. Down to 5. Here is a chance for Gibbs from a severe angle down to 2. And the Muskegon Voyagers are going to get a 6-5 victory. Nolan LeClaire's goal that ended up being the insurance is going to end up being the GWG. And this is an even series in the best of 5. Both teams split at Lakeshore Sports Centre. 6-5 is your final. Nolan LeClaire wraparound winner. And again, I'll give you that timestamp. in the mix of 326. That's your ball game. And that's what's going to stand up here for the Voyagers. It was entertaining as heck type of game, but again, it was that first period, a little bit of a slow start. Might have ended up leaving it that same way. As it stands, we will now officially, I can relay this to you, April 5th and 6th, Saturday and Sunday, 7 o'clock and 2:30 respectively, will be in the Red Rink at Lakeland Ice Arena, and that will go a long way to decide whether or not the Bill Long Memorial Cup will be won in Waterford or it will be won in Muskegon. This was an entertaining one. I hope you guys enjoyed. We will see you next Saturday in Waterford at Lakeland Ice Arena. It is a 6-5 final and a 1-1 best of 5. You take care.
And we will get a whistle. Joyce does get a piece of the draw. It goes right to him. Opportunity, easy one with McCarthy. Captaincy's got it there. Polosha. This will get stick lifted away from him. And now Kieran Carlisle. Sweet move. Extra rebound. And what a disgusting. Very apropos. We'll see if they can get to that point where they can throw puck center against Jack Budak and put up a situation. Here's an opportunity. Scores! Here's a shot that traffic scores! Two things I was able to speak in existence in the broadcast. You win those multiple chances. This is picked up toward the left side blue line. Opportunity here to emerge from the Sharks. Take a long shot. Wow, that would be Gibbons from away down. Got the score clock here for the rest of this third period as it stands. So it'll pushed across. Here's a shot from the point. And the Sharks not trying to do anything crazy. They'll look forward to these and track the number of points. Unless it is Polosha and Carlisle that are going to be the abacus. Down to the backhand, Sharks hit it. Justin McComas almost made an unbelievable play. As this one will be deflected. Long shot, another big rebound. It's given up. Gibbons has to booty. On the left side guy. 11-10 left to go in this third. It's a 4-4 game. Big hit, my goodness. One of the is actually going to get to this puck first. Good work there. Jeremy Joyce races away from the hit and they score. That was a nothing burger of a play, but it worked out. Stick shots. He can't get to it now behind the net. The wrap-around. Josh Hill now. And alongside for Polosha as there was contact against Banner. Was bounced off the skate. Picked up now for slap shot. Scores! There's still time if they can execute off this long flip. Here's an opportunity here off the rebound. And is there going to be a penalty call? You think there probably should have been off a trip.